And next up from Churchill, we have Rania Aladasi. Rania's commitment to both students and colleagues sets her apart. She brings a positive attitude into each day and approaches challenges with enthusiasm. As a teacher assistant with the RISE program, she has a deep understanding of her students, allowing her to anticipate their needs and adapt to their diverse learning styles. A fellow employee shared, Rania is outstanding in her role and is truly an invaluable asset to our district. Congratulations, Rania. All right, and now we need pictures. If there is an administrator here from Churchill or 3, come on up. Congratulations, Churchill. Our next spotlight is on Long Beach Elementary School. First of all, we have Maura Vivona. Maura consistently demonstrates how it looks to go the extra mile. She has played a crucial role in cultivating a strong, supportive culture at Long Beach through the introduction of the building's house system this year. Her leadership as a 5th grade teacher is admired and appreciated by all. One nominator stated, "What makes her work stand out is not just what she does, but why she does it. She truly believes in building connections, creating a sense of belonging, and helping every student and staff member feel seen and valued." Congratulations, Maura. Our second lion for the night is Brittany Stukel. Brittany exemplifies persistence, dependability, and empathy in all she does. She strives to make sure all students reach their full potential, consistently showing a high level of respect for her kindergarten students, families, and colleagues, while she fosters an environment where everyone feels seen and valued. A nominator shared, Brittany was truly born to educate and mold young minds, and both current and past students are fortunate to have her guiding their growth. Congratulations, Brittany. And finally, we need Jacqueline Garcia. When her class size unexpectedly grew this year, Jacqueline rose to the challenge. She welcomed new students with open arms, creating a seamless transition for them. Her positivity has shown through this challenge. As shared by a colleague, she took an unexpected and big change that altered her entire classroom dynamic without batting an eye, without complaining, and with grace and enthusiasms. Congratulations. Now, any Long Beach administrators? All right, moving on. Now we are recognizing our pirates from Plank. First of all, we have Isabel Garcia. Isabel's kindness has made a lasting impact on her students. She works to understand her students and support them along their Spanish acquisition journeys. Her dedication to ensuring students are successful and held accountable is evident. As stated by one student, she is a kind person and is always smiling. Congratulations. Next up, we have Jillian Brawley. Jillian takes the time to connect with her students and aid them through challenging course content. As a language arts teacher, she helps students develop a genuine interest in reading. She wants to see her students succeed, and her positivity contributes to Plank's climate and culture. Fellow staff members always know they can share a laugh with Jillian. A student shared, "Whenever I was confused, she would explain it to me easily." Congratulations, Jillian. Now we have Katie Rink. Katie's love for her students is evident in everything she does. Her calming presence allows her students to feel at ease in her classroom, and her collaborative mindset enables her to be a true team player. She is someone who can always be counted on and is committed to helping others. One of her colleagues shared, "She is part of the reason Plank is such an amazing place to work." Congratulations, Katie. Now we have Mariam Osic. Mariam has already made a positive impression on those around her at Plank. Her language arts students describe her as being helpful and supportive. She is highly involved in club activities in her building, providing unique opportunities for her students. A student stated, "She has changed my life. She will encourage me to always try my hardest." Congratulations. And our last pirate is Mr. Jason Coley. He is not able to be here. We can still clap it up for Mr. Coley. Mr. Coley has the ability to make everyone around him smile. He spreads positivity and hope to all. The connections he shares with his students fosters a fun classroom environment. As shared by a fellow employee, he is a great teacher, role model, and friend. He stands for what teachers should aspire to be. Congratulations, Jason, and all of our Plank Pirates. Congratulations, Plank. And for our final school of the evening, we have Thompson Tigers. First of all, we have Deanna Dunn. Come on up. Deanna builds strong connections with her math students, offering thoughtful support to meet them at their individual skill levels. She has high expectations for her students and provides a learning environment where they feel encouraged to grow and succeed. Her passion for teaching is evident in the work she does. One parent shared, "Mrs. Dunn's impact on students extends far beyond the classroom, including the lasting impression she has made on my own children through her actions and dedication." Congratulations, Deanna. Next up, we have Jessica Lager. Jessica leads with compassion and a true commitment to the success of her students. She helps create a positive school culture in a number of ways, building strong relationships with students and making sure they feel valued in her physical education classes. She also plays a critical role in collaborative PE at Thompson, cultivating inclusion and offering meaningful opportunities to students of all abilities. A colleague shared, "She works tirelessly to make Thompson a better place for both students and staff." Congratulations, Jessica. Now we have Julie Kleinmeyer. A passionate advocate for music at Thompson, Julie places student growth, engagement, and well-being at the center of all she does. She goes beyond expectations to provide meaningful experiences for her choir and band students. She also helps organize after-school activities for students, contributing to a greater sense of belonging for all. A nominator shared, Thompson Junior High is fortunate to have an educator who invests so much time, energy, and heart into ensuring students receive the support, enrichment, and encouragement they need. Congratulations, Julie. Sandra Ingersoll. Sandy's work behind the scenes helps make everything run smoothly at Thompson. As an administrative specialist, she supports her building's administration through multiple tasks and is a sounding board for other staff members, providing thoughtful feedback to all challenges. She also shares encouragement with students who come through the office. As shared by a fellow employee, she encourages everyone she comes in contact with, and even on the craziest days in the office, you can count on her calmness and smile to support you. Congratulations. And finally, we have Kathleen Barnes. Kathleen holds her students to high standards and helps them achieve these goals. Always smiling, she provides encouragement to all of her language arts students, present and past. Her commitment to continued student success and supporting colleagues demonstrate her excellent character. One student shared, her class is the first class I've truly felt seen. Congratulations, Kathleen. And any administrators from Thompson? I keep looking their eyes. Sorry, Mark. All right, congratulations, Thompson, and everybody being recognized here tonight. Honorees, please proceed out into the hall, gathering at the landing of the stairs for a large group photo. Thank you again to all the families and colleagues who are here tonight to support our wonderful winners. Our next Pride Awards will be open for nominations starting in just 2 weeks on March 12th.
While I go? Do they just click as I go? Because it's like the... Okay. 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 So, push it. Yeah. Do you want to click as I go? Because with these, I always have the worst time. Oh, nice one. I always think I'm like, oh, I heard scroll. Intermission. That's true. Shagan's trying to get him out of the way. Dr. Wallace trying to. Oh, wait.
All right. Next up on our agenda is 5.1, the Speak and Spark Student-Led Board Forum. And
Yeah, sure. Before we get to the presentation, I just wanted to highlight that this is happening on March 9th. It's an opportunity to experience the schools through the voices of the students as they share how clubs, activities, and different experiences help them feel connected, supported, and a sense of belonging in the district. Hearing directly from the students about what makes them feel seen and valued reminds us why we are here. I want to encourage community members to attend as well, so that they have the opportunity to better understand the student experience, see the impact of the programs and opportunities we provide, and learn how connection and belonging are shaped across the schools. When we listen to the students, we all benefit from a deeper shared understanding of what helps our young people thrive. Thank you.
Hello, good evening, board.
Good evening.
Just as Dr. Martin just said, it is an opportunity for students to be heard. A recap, the event is on March 9th. It is student-led, so it's by students for students. What is it? It's a Board of Education's annual student-led public forum. It will be held at Plank Junior High from 6:30 to 8 p.m. Whose for students, staff, parents, and community members are invited, so everyone is welcome. Why this is happening? So the community will learn from nearly 20 student clubs and organizations across all school levels as students share how the experience helps them grow and feel a sense of belonging. This will include student panel discussions, gallery walks, and then a performance. And then we hope to see everyone there. So if you can make it, definitely show up because students from all over the district will be able to show you why they feel heard in their own school communities.
Thank you. If I may add something, this has really evolved, and I want to congratulate the organizers and the youth for really thinking about how to expand whose voices are present in that space. I noticed that this year you've really been intentional about adding 20 clubs, different clubs and organizations. That's progress in terms of really expanding the voice. And I know that the Board of Education, this was started actually prior to my arrival here in the district. The inaugural year was the year before I arrived. And I think it's such a great example of the centering of student voice. And so I just want to commend you all. And as you prepare, and I would just encourage the community to join us that night. And in advance, if you have other questions, please send them in. And then the last thing is that there is always, as always, at the end of the forum, we still have our general public comment or questions.
So to the organizers, my son came home and told me about it as if I didn't know about it. So the word is spreading throughout the student body.
There's a lot of clubs that are involved. I was really surprised when I saw nearly 20. And then I know other clubs also added slides, so we might even have more than 20 that are present from all over the district. So it's really exciting. I'm really excited to see how it plays out.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
6.1, our superintendent's report.
I see our communications photography team walking out, but I didn't want to take a minute and thank Teresa and your team for always doing such a spectacular job of leading the Pride Award. It's just such a incredible opportunity to see the joy and sense of appreciation that the staff feel when they're presented with their awards. I got to tell you, every single time, it's typically, why me or how? There's a sense of humility that I do the work for the kids, and that we are recognizing them is really miraculous almost to them. And I want to thank our partners for helping us. And if you're interested in supporting us, for those listening, being a partner in promoting this event and this experience, we want to thank you. Every day, our staff make an effort to make a difference in the lives of children. And for those of us who struggle sometimes along the way, this is an inspiration that we can do better. So I want to thank you all for that. This month, we've been honoring Black History Month. It's truly a powerful reminder as these months signal for us about our history. Last month, I highlighted Ferdinand Smith and Mary Smith, 1903, first graduates of Oswego High School, African American. And this past weekend, we celebrated many of our upcoming graduates at the Black Student Gala, and led by the Black Student Association. It was really such an honor. One of the comments, the questions that came up was, what is Black excellence? And a comment was made that Black excellence isn't about being extraordinary. It's about really celebrating the humanity and the excellence that lives within all of us, all humans, and for our students. So it was really, truly a special moment. This is also a period of renewal, of fasting across many world faith traditions. So we want to recognize and we want to honor those who are engaged in that practice, and we want to wish them the best during the season. I also wanted to, last week, we celebrate Chinese New Year, 2026, the year of the horse. I think it's a flying horse, I heard.
It's the fire.
Fire horse. Fire horse. Man, as if we didn't have enough fire these days, but thank you, Chinese New Year. All right, here we go. To all who observed and celebrated, I know that there were lots of celebrations around the community. We want to honor that to all those in the community. We are living in a world and working in times where there are fears, there are concerns that come up. And board, I've been really thinking about A lot of our schools are really, for many, places of stability. There are places where there's routine, predictability, and at times it also is I call it the lightning rod for frustration when we feel like we can't change things that are beyond our control. Sometimes schools feels like the places we have to control, and many people come out seeking ways to improve our schools, which I love, and I think that's important, and they should. You all serve on the board. The board serves with a mission to improve our schools and to support our schools. This is part of being part of a public institution. We have to be held accountable to our community and most importantly to our students. I want to remind, and tonight we'll hear some opportunity to hear about some opportunities. The board will do some self-reflection for the public, but I want to say that, we have systems in place for dialogue and for clarity. When we hear something that may reflect a misunderstanding of how we're doing business, when we feel like things aren't going the way they should, I want to invite the community to consider that we have a very clear process that the board has outlined in its board policy. There are moments that may reflect genuine differences in perspective about how we're doing the work. And I want to say that those are important and that there are ways to bring up those points of view and to share those. Sometimes folks come here. So I want to invite people to really engage with their respective schools. And we have individuals at the district level ready to help and engage in conversation. Our board policy provides clear guidance about who needs to be engaged with and when. So if you look in our district, we have what's called our chain of command. It outlines those things and helps everybody with that. I want to remind us also that our goal is not to take on political positions or to react to any single narrative. When things come up, we look towards our strategic plan and our board policy to guide our decision making. The board approved a framework last spring that helps us think about how the board wants us to move when these things happen. And so I want to note that, I want to name that. I want to especially say that our staff, our students, our community is really committed to a process of continuous improvement that is in our policy. Our goal is always to think about how we can do better. And when we make mistakes, we need to stop, reflect on those, and then make it. So you're thinking, is there something happened? No, nothing happened. I just feel annually that it's important to remind the community of this as things come up, and also just taking us back to our strategic plan. You will hear for the public regularly when we make our presentation, we'll refer to our strategic plan. And if we don't do it enough, we need to do it more. And we need to make sure that you understand how all these things fit in. Whether it's questions about special education, inclusivity, our finance, all of those are named specific things that our district is working on and investing in. And we want you to know when you have concerns because things aren't moving fast enough or moving in a direction you don't agree with, we want to invite you to really engage. What does the strategic plan say about that? What's the process the board has approved for us to follow? This is not my plan. This is not an individual board member. This is a board-approved document, legally bound, that's guiding our work. And so when there are things that are disconnecting, I've just been thinking a lot, board, about helping our principals, helping our district level staff bring us back to the strategic plan as the way in which we're going to address these questions. Our door is open. And even when we have differences, we want to invite all of us to reflect on our district mission, which is that together we empower, support, and motivate all students. Again, together we empower, support, and motivate all students to thrive along their unique educational journey. Recognize that each student is unique. And with that, I want to invite the board to share any highlights, and I want to thank you for the opportunity to share some reflections this evening.
I'm going to shout out the Oswego East girls bowling team, placed 5th at state. Their impressive score of 11,708 total pins. Leah Andrew finished 12th overall, earning all-state honors. Congratulations to the entire team on their performance.
The boys swim and dive co-op finished 3rd at sectionals. We had multiple individuals qualify for state. The day was highlighted by individual titles earned by Jackson Rapper in diving, Owen Lippold in the 50 free and 100 free. The 200 free relay, which was Owen Lippold, Tyler Liska, Zach Peterson, and Ethan Schrader, were sectional champs. And they achieved a new Matea Valley pool record, as well as breaking an Oswego co-op team record. Congratulations to all the swim and dive boys, and good luck at state.
They are cleaning up. Swimming up, I should say.
OHS students were the champions of the automotive
Yes.
skills competition hosted by the Wabansie Community College Automotive Technology Program. The team scored a total of 329.5 points out of a possible 450 points in timed stations that tested their automotive skills. Congratulations.
Wow.
At the recent Southwest Prairie Conference Journalism Competition, Oswego High School took 4th place and Oswego East High School won. OE has been the conference champions every year since the program started, making this their 7th consecutive title. Best of luck at sectionals, and congratulations to both teams.
Great.
Brian Cronin, head athletic trainer and athletic training and driver education teacher at OHS, won 2 awards from the Illinois Athletic Trainers Association. Congratulations to Brian for earning the IATA Impact Athletic Trainer Award and IATA Educator Award. Impressive.
And last but not least, Christopher Dodgensen, senior at OEHS, has displayed excellent German language proficiency through his time in high school. Recently, he achieved high recognition in German through a globally recognized credential, a first for the school. Congrats, Christopher.
That's it. That concludes my comment.
Great.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. I do want to say that, yeah, I encourage everybody to reach out to the principal, and I'm surprised at how often you're on the phone, to be honest, and engaging with our community members. So appreciate that as well.
Mhm. Thank you.
And there are no public comments today, so 7.1, opportunity for the public to address the Board of Education, unless there's somebody out there that intends to. Nope. Okay. We will move on to 8.1, student board member report.
Hello, good evening again. Unfortunately, the lunch and learn that was supposed to be held at OE was moved due to scheduling issues that happened among the students. However, there's no need to fear. We rescheduled it for March 2nd, in which it will be held here in the community room during 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th periods for staff that are invited and student volunteers from clubs such as BSA, ISA, Coalition, and Bionic. And then OHS's Lunch and Learn is still being held on March 3rd, so it's directly after Oswego East. And then we will meet that following week after to start rehearsing and practicing with those student leaders as well. Everything else is confirmed. We are prepared for the rest. However, that little minor issue will not stop us from creating this amazing event. And then tying more into the Speak and Spark event, just to touch a little bit, different clubs and organizations across the district will be presenting about their clubs and their significance in the Oswego community. There will be a panel discussion where each club will be asked questions that relate to what it means to be a portrait of a learner. The event is open to anyone in the community, and many are encouraged to come and support their community clubs and activities that keep our community well-rounded. And then again, OE Lunch and Learn will be held in their community room on March 2nd. OHS's Lunch and Learn will be held in their community room on March 3rd. And then some exciting events in our district that are happening. Oswego High School Student Council is hosting its annual talent show on Tuesday, March 24th in their school's auditorium from 6 to 8. Also, Oswego's High School's MSA is advertising their annual Fastathon, which will be held on March 5th from 4:30 to 7 p.m. And then Coalition's annual event Amplify will be held at Oswego East on March 24th at 7. And yeah. And if there are any questions about any of the events, feel free to ask.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Can you, so 4th period, fourth, fifth, sixth, and sixth period?
6 and 7.
Okay, so from what time to what time?
So 10:02 to 1:30. No, sorry. Oh yeah,
Anything close?
to 12:38. Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Of course.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Moving to 8.2, our board committee report. We had a finance and facilities committee report.
I wasn't there.
We had a meeting and we talked about the Hung Club ADA sidewalk. And we also talked about the other thing that's on this agenda, which is the transportation fuel bid.
So you'll get a heavy dose of that in just a few minutes here.
Correct.
A heavy dose of fuel.
What's that?
A heavy dose of fuel.
Fuel. Yeah,
Oh, man.
diesel, clean diesel, somehow
Trying to do us in.
Unleaded.
unleaded. Any questions? Or shall we postpone those until the presentation? Okay. All right. 8.3, our board member comments. I'll start over here.
I don't have any at this time.
I was out of the country, actually, in Mexico from like the day after the last board meeting until a couple days ago. Fortunately, I did get back on Saturday, so I was able to avoid all of the unrest. But it's really, first of all, two things I just want to say real quick is that, first of all, it's really interesting when you travel internationally to get other people's perspectives. Enough on that. But bottom line, my heart does go out to the people of Mexico with everything that's going on right now, subsequent to the death of the cartel leader. A lot of it is centered in Puerto Vallarta. A lot of it is sporadic and random, but it's very violent. Truly, when we left on Saturday, we were talking about not being around for the fair that weekend, and then all of a sudden it's gone to lighting trucks on fire and blocking airports and that type of thing. So my heart does go out to those people, and hopefully things will settle down very quickly. That's all I have.
I don't have anything either this evening.
I got to join the OHS band at the band cake celebration. I really enjoyed listening to the pep band. It brought back lots of memories of my own high school days with Shake a Tail Feather, which I'm sure everyone knows. They sounded way better than we did back in the day, and I think they raised quite a bit of money. I don't know the numbers, but yay to them. I am hoping to go to the OE pancake breakfast on Saturday. So that's all I have.
School connections. That was.
Oh, and I did get to go to meet with the ladies at Eastview Academy. It was a really eye-opening experience. I personally didn't know much about what happens at Eastview, and I look forward to working to get them the support they need to keep doing their jobs really well.
Great. Sadly, I did attend a couple of funerals over the past couple of weeks. One thing I did notice is community, the school communities really come together, and there's a lot of love in the schools, so for their coworkers. Also, this is your last meeting, Dr. Campbell's last meeting.
That's right.
I want to thank you for all your contributions, and Sycamore is lucky to have you, and that'll be quite an endeavor. Yeah, so congratulations. Thank you. Okay. 8.4, Dr. Martin.
All right. So, as in our kind of discussions about like our work with the board, we often talk about like what guides it and kind of as we navigate interactions with each other and with the work and with the community, a lot of our board protocols come up. So what we are going to begin doing is reviewing a board protocol every month or so. And it'll give us the opportunity to revisit and reaffirm our role and responsibilities, to make sure we have a shared understanding of the protocol that guides our decisions, and to talk through anything that might need clarification or discussion as a board. It's a way for us to stay grounded in our governance and ensure that we're aligned as we move forward. And it's also going to provide the community with a look at the guidelines that influence our interactions, both with each other and with you all, and within the district. So I guess with that, if there are any questions from other board members, go right ahead.
So how are we going to do this? Are we just going to
Down the
choose
list.
just down
Yep.
the list? Excellent.
And there's, I probably should know this, but were we thinking about doing like one section at a time or one? Yeah.
I don't know if we're
we
that
might
specific.
figure that out. Because that would take a
I think it would
few
probably
years.
depend on the section. I think there are some are a little meatier than others.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, we can talk about that at our
Our next
meetings. Yeah. No, I like the idea, and it's educates the public as well. A lot of times people come say to me, I need to do this. I need to implement something. It's like, oh, we got have great people to do that work. And we're trying to make sure that we have those great people. So there's a lot of different things that will help community. It'll help with staying, like you said, remind us of our protocols.
Yes. 'Cause even when we don't agree with each other, we should at least agree on how to engage and how to move forward.
So do we have a timeline for that?
So the recommendation is to start not tonight, but just to first bring up the idea, and then not the March 9th board meeting, but the following board meeting would be the first one. And my understanding that it would be essentially 3 protocols would be read, and then there'll be some discussion, and then 1 board member would lead that. So we have a list that board members can sign up for to lead that particular conversation.
Okay.
And we're looking for
It's-
feedback right now too.
Yeah, and so I'm just asking, so who are we partnering with, like, to make meaning relative to what the policy is, or just our protocols and how we engage in decision-making?
The goal, the recommendation would be really to either the board president or the vice president
Okay.
with that board member. And then I can always lend additional research support to the board. As you look at a particular protocol that's coming up,
Mhm.
what might be helpful?
We can pull from other boards and consult as well as necessary.
I just know we work very closely with our consultant from IASB, and so I didn't know if he is willing just to support us in the work. I think that it's an excellent idea. Essentially, we have 4 new board members, and so for us to level set, one, just for us as a board, but also just being transparent with the public in terms of how we make decisions, and just even delineating between what's public facing and what isn't public facing. I think that that is critically important, and not just because we've kind of made up rules as we go, but like there's a rationale when we do go into closed session, and there are certain things that we are discussing versus what's in what we discussed during open session. So I think that it's a
good
great
idea.
idea.
Dr.
But I think to just kind of give just some rationale in terms of how we conduct business. And
Really
that's
good
the
idea.
reason I'm
It
Well,
could
and
be
to add to
invited.
that, not just what is public facing or not, but also like what is within the scope of our work on the board
Absolutely.
and what is not.
And I think that that is really, really important that the public understand that we are essentially trained coming into this role, just understanding not to get into the weeds, like, that is underscored quite a bit, but instead just what governance looks like for us. So absolutely.
I think it would be interesting to have like different scenarios and with a discussion on how we should be addressing those different scenarios.
I really like Erica's idea. I'm thinking about it right now. What I want to distinguish this from like a self-evaluation that we would do in closed session, where we would talk maybe differently about our, where we want to improve and things like that. which could be, I guess, part of this discussion. I'm just trying to distinguish between what this looks like in comparison to what we would do as a self-evaluation in closed session. I love the idea of having discussions like these because we know, I mean, I've learned so much as a board member about what governance is and what my role is as a board member, and you know, and even with a background in education. And so I think for the public to learn more about it is a really great idea. I think by like made up scenarios, it helps us kind of depersonalize it a little bit and really have it focused on education, both for reminders for us and for the public.
If I'm not mistaken, I think the training module had scenarios too that we could just take rather than reinventing the wheel. And yes, we do go through training. But yeah, I know. But no, I mean, that'd be a good place to start, and they're already kind of like, they're there.
Yeah, and just kind of to add to the conversation, so, you know, there are a lot of rules governing our interactions and like how we are allowed to interact, how many of us are allowed to interact at a time and things like that. So we really, I mean, we really only have like one opportunity a year where we sit down and actually solely talk about our functioning as a board for like a large chunk of time. Otherwise, all of our focus is on everything going on in the district, and we might be able to work in little things as situations come up. But I think it's a nice opportunity to kind of embed that conversation in our practice, because it was like one really long day over the summer. I feel like forever ago, like 5 minutes after we got sworn in or something, and then and here we are. So yeah.
You know what? It was like 5 minutes after, but everybody was like, we need to do this sooner.
Exactly, because I remember in our meetings we're like, gosh, like we do need to do this now, like because it felt like it was going to be so far away, and now that we're 6 months on the other side of it, it's like, oh, yeah, that was not 5 minutes. It felt like a long time after, but now it feels like forever ago.
Yeah.
And it makes a lot of sense to be proactive about it too, as opposed to responding to something that happens after the fact.
And to not wait for June to roll around again and
Right, to do
have
it.
another one of those.
Absolutely.
Dr. Martin, I know you prepared some thoughts prior to us kind of engaging in this discussion. I think it would be helpful for the board to have like maybe like a 1-sentence purpose statement about why we're doing this. That will help me focus too, and for us to kind of check ourselves in regards to why we're having the discussions we're going to have.
Yeah.
So. Do we know if boards do this regularly, or is this something that is more
Trailblazing.
I don't
trailblazing?
know. Yeah.
Good word. Okay.
There are boards that do book, like they may read a chapter, like not a chapter, but like a paragraph from a book that they picked. And
Okay.
I know different boards, examples from different boards where they may have some
Public
touchstone text to come in and help guide. Mostly it's like you said, like a retreat that happens once a year or some type of functioning. But I've seen a couple boards, and when I've seen it, I have noted that it helps the board have a dialogue about something a little bit more objective than always waiting, as somebody said, for that thing that's the tough situation, right? So getting proactive about the healthy function versus reactive. And so those are some examples. I've seen it twice, actually, just twice from other boards. Not that I'm
Yeah, and I
prepared.
think it's a nice intersection of like our
We're trailblazing.
kind of functioning and like just transparency. Yeah.
Any other thoughts? Okay. We're going to consent agenda. Item 9.0, approve consent agenda. Can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda, please?
I make a motion to approve all items under consent, including 9.1 minutes from the Board of Education meeting on February 9th, 2026, open and closed sessions. 9.2 to acknowledge the FOIA requests received by the district.
Second.
Does anybody have any questions on the FOIAs or the minutes? There's a nice quantity, I suppose.
There is that.
I would like to thank the FOIA team of the district for the work that they do, because it's grown.
And we have to
So-
engage our attorney a lot.
Yeah. So I do
Very
appreciate everyone's work
Yeah.
with that.
And I think Heather, right?
Yes.
One of the many others. The other
Yeah.
Heather M.
Missy? Aye. Dr. Polak?
Aye.
Dr. Martin?
Aye.
Mr. Saron?
Aye.
Miss Wenmouth?
Aye.
Dr. Murillo?
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0. Going on to 10.1, discussion regarding resolution to transfer the old Trauber School property to the Village of Oswego.
So, board, as you've seen here outlined, is essentially a next step in our process. This is just one step of many along this process and considering the intergovernmental agreement with the village, and we've invited Stuart Whitlaw to speak to it. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Sure, thank you for having me. Historically, the property at 61 Franklin Street was Trauber Junior High School. But in 2007 and 2008, we built new Trauber down on Colchester Drive. Old Trauber then became known as the District 308 Center, and for a period of time housed the Kendall County Special Education Cooperative for its educational program for its students. Once the Kendall County Educational Cooperative moved out, it was then the home for the school district's transitional students for those 18 to 22-year-old students who are eligible. From that point forward, there's been a number of efforts to sell Old Trauber or the District 308 Center, both to private parties through a competitive bid process, nonprofits through a competitive bid process, other governmental agencies, and we just never were able to get it over the hump, so it was off of your books and on someone else's books. The district in 2018 did a lot of studies with regard to what could be done with the building and what had to be done to the building prior to having students come back in, and it was just cost prohibitive to do it at that time. And in addition to that, you really don't need the space for students at this point in time. So we engaged in a number of efforts to sell it between from 2019 to date.
Which you were
As I-
involved in directly, Stu.
What's that?
You were involved in those efforts
I
throughout
was
the.
involved in all those.
Okay, just to be clear.
I
I think it's important to name.
I was driving down here tonight thinking about, okay, it was this one, and then it was this one, and it was that one. It just, we worked very, very hard at doing that. So ultimately, at the end of the day, the administration thought that it might be best to work with the village of Oswego in an effort to get this property and put it to a good use. You are able, because of your both governmental agencies, you're able to make a transfer between a property between you upon such terms as you deem appropriate, both the village and the school district. And so over the past last July, you all indicated you didn't enter into an agreement, you indicated your interest in engaging the village to try and make this property more productive for both you and for the village and the community. And the village engaged in its village concept review process with a developer where they enter into an initial discussion about what the village had in mind for this property. They had those conversations, and now the village has come back to us for the next step. On March 3rd or March 17th, that's not been determined, the village is going to adopt an ordinance declaring its need to acquire your property for redevelopment purposes. Then on March 23rd, if you're so inclined, you're going to consider a resolution indicating you no longer need this property for school purposes and that the improvements there are no longer suitable or convenient for a school to house children. Once you two adopt the ordinance on their case, the resolution on your case, you'll enter into a purchase and sale agreement where you agree to sell the property to the village will agree to buy the property from you. The village will then turn around and try to work out a redevelopment agreement with the developer of the property. That redevelopment agreement will have to please the developer, it will have to please the village, and it will have to please you. And if any of you are unhappy with the agreement, everything is off and we go back to square one. There's no commitment made here. You've always got the opportunity to bail out. This is a process that's time consuming, mostly on the part of the developer and on the part of the village. You and your administration less so. But at the end of the day, unless you're happy with what you're getting out of this deal, both with regard to maybe sales price, maybe revenue sharing from the TIF district, or other contributions to the school district for the value of its property, you just back away and say, we're not doing it. In which event, you continue to own the property at a cost of about $250,000 a year. Questions?
When you say the RDA, you're talking about that agreement, is the agreement is with the developer and the village, and then there's a second agreement with the developer and the school district?
No, because it'll probably be an agreement. I think it'll be an agreement with all three parties involved. Because you have an interest in getting something from the developer, but you also have an interest in getting something from the village. Because of what you're contributing to the village with this property.
And any of the three entities can back out of that
Any
agreement?
of the three entities can back out.
Okay. So we could be in agreement with the draft document, and then the village backs out, and then we go back to square one. Is that correct?
I think that you'll know before you get to a document. I think you'll have a good idea of where you're at with the village and with the developer, and yourselves, whether you can make this work. And if you come to general terms, that I think is when you would start putting pen to paper.
Okay.
And getting, down to the details of exactly what's going to happen. But it's very important, I think, from the administration's perspective, and I think from your perspective, it's very important that we have an agreement with the village regarding some contribution to the district for the benefit that you're providing to the village and the developer in this instance.
Will the RDA be worked on before or after the developer does their due diligence as far as environmental or geotechnical or any of that stuff?
Once the school district and the village enters into the initial purchase and sale agreement in March, that's when the developer will go and start doing their due diligence. Not the least of which is checking the building for asbestos-containing material. We have a sense of what we have there, and we'll provide them with all of the school district's documents, but also soil borings and soil contamination and those kinds of things. But they've been working through this process with the village in terms of what the village will allow them to do, and I think the village has wanted them to reduce densities, and I think they've worked that out. So I think it's now a lot about the property and about the terms of the redevelopment.
Okay, that's all I have.
Thank you.
Okay.
But I didn't share this question earlier, but I just wanted to get an understanding, and since I have you here, so section 5, it discusses, the board incorporates by reference herein all terms, blah, 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 provide developer's decision to proceed with its village zoning. The board, at its sole discretion due to changing circumstances, decided not to convey the property to the village or the developer, and the developer has the sole risk of anything.
I got them playing behind me.
Oh, maybe I'm not loud enough. Basically, in the agreement itself, it says that the developer, it has the sole risk and cost. And then in the memo, I saw something along the lines of during the purchase and sale agreement that we should enter into an agreement or have a written understanding with the developer that the developer undertakes the next phase of the zoning process at its own risk and expense. So
Yes.
will there also be something between us and the developer during this part of the process?
No, it goes through, no, we are not.
Okay.
This would be, so.
Because
part
it
of
was
what
under
this
the
does,
purchase
it
and sale
conveys-
agreement, so.
This goes to the village, who then becomes
Yes.
the party that negotiates.
Right. you really are, your hands are really tied in terms of your ability to work with the developer. The village
Okay.
has a lot more power and authority, particularly since this is all part of their TIF district. They can do a lot of negotiations with any type of developer because this is within the TIF district. They've got expansive powers. Whatever they agree to with the developer, they've got to satisfy you. You've got the ability to walk away. The developer's got the ability to walk away. I think if the developer were going to be walking away, I think it would be more likely something with regard to the property, which we do not expect.
Yeah, I just wanted to clear something up from the memo. That's all. So, did that spur any other questions? Or are we
Nope.
good?
Oh, good.
So what's the next decision that the board has to make? That we agree that the property is no longer of use to the school district for educational purposes?
The first decision to be made is by the village. The first public decision to be made is by the village that they need this property to pursue their agenda.
Mhm.
They'll do that early March. And then the March 23rd, you're going to be asked to consider a resolution saying this property is no longer suitable or convenient for a school. That's a statutory phrase, and no longer needed by the district for school purposes. And that it's in the best interest to convey this property to the village and to enter into a purchase and sale agreement, which is kind of a bare bones kind of an agreement with the village. You won't be making any transfer of the property. You'll just be entering into that agreement. Once that agreement is there, then the developer has the ability to go out and do all of their due diligence and negotiate their terms with the village and with the school district. But all through the village and its staff.
So we would vote on the resolution March 23rd, essentially.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what I'm hearing. Okay.
It's being entered tonight for information. In the interim, the village will confirm, and then
There's still
there's
lots of
time to questions and anything that.
yeah. There's still lots of time, for other questions and for potential outs and things like that.
The village indicated in our last discussions, I think last week and a half ago, the village indicated that they anticipate this entire process to take until the latter part of 26 or the early part of 27.
Yeah, I think I heard that. We good?
All right. Thank you, Stu.
Thank you. Have a
Thank
nice evening.
you.
Thank you.
All right. Information item 10.2, financial information.
Miss Amanda
Is that
Sitar.
you today?
Yes, thank you. Did anybody have any questions?
I have a question about the fee collection chart. I just want to confirm that under the fees section for activities, those are the 649,000 number is based on the previous year, or that's not including all of the sports yet, or all the clubs? Because last year it was 918.
Yep. So I can see how that's a little bit confusing. So the 24-25 fees are cumulative of January or July 1st of 24 through June 30th of 25. So that is the whole year that's charged. What you're seeing in 25-26 is what's been charged so far since July 1st of this school year. I don't think that all of the fees have been charged yet to the push coin for like spring sports and those things. So that number will come up. But we are getting a better collection rate. So I'd like to thank our parents and our community for that.
Thank you, parents.
It does matter.
It does matter.
Any other questions? No? Okay. Moving on to information item 10.3, transportation fuel bid.
Yes, thank you. We recently did a release of an RFP for the transportation fuel and brought this information to the Finance and Facility Committee. we have tonight our Transportation Director, LaShawn Mosley, to discuss the memo and answer any other questions if needed.
Welcome, Ms. Mosley.
Hello.
Good morning. Good evening.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's Monday.
Yeah. Um,
Any questions on the,
Are we currently under a contract? I don't remember seeing, I just may not remember. How often do we contract for fuel?
so the last fuel bid we did was 2 years ago.
Okay.
It ended in November of 24,
Okay.
of 25, I'm sorry.
And this is for 2 years as well?
Yes.
Is that the typical cadence
That
every
is.
2 years?
Yes.
And are we changing the type of fuel at all?
No, we have a
Okay.
diesel tank and then we have an
yeah.
unleaded tank.
That would be bad.
so the bio mix is something that is better for the environment, and we've been using it. So it's right.
That is
Kinda.
our winter blend to make sure that our fuel don't gel in the wintertime.
There was one type of, I can't remember.
It's the one, so when there's a certain level of viscosity, right?
Yeah.
When there's really cold days.
So when it's below -10, that's when you want to change that biodiesel to make sure that it doesn't gel our tank.
Okay. Maybe I misunderstood something from the meeting. This would be a switch in suppliers, potentially.
This time it will be a switch of suppliers, yes.
Any other questions?
No, I just want to thank everyone for their commitment to the competitive bid process. So thank you. I'm glad that we are entering a contract that's going to save us some money.
Do you have a concept of how many gallons of each of these fuels that we purchase each year?
So it's roughly around 260, 280 gallons, just depending on the weather sometimes and our field trips that we take.
Okay.
We're doing more overnights and more out-of-state trips, and so that can fluctuate.
At the committee meeting, we talked about possibly having, because the bid came in with petroleum traders coming in slightly less by 1 cent
Penny.
per gallon for the diesel one. From your perspective, you don't see a reason to try to negotiate to just get the diesel one from them versus having Arneson give us all three?
Well, typically you could, and you can award both and negotiate get quotes from them every time you go for a fuel delivery.
Mm-hmm.
So we can do it that way. But again, I think with a penny, I don't know how
Yeah,
much savings.
It's
I
that
think
a-
we
it
figured
actually
it
was-
out. It'd
it
be
was-
like in the hundreds, right?
Yeah, I think it worked out to like $100 each
Yeah.
drop.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it was, the administration costs of managing 2 contracts and those types of things probably wouldn't even.
Right.
I have a random question.
Yeah.
Sorry, I should have asked this before. What kind of mileage do buses get? What kind of gas mileage? If you
25.
if you don't know, it's totally fine. I mean, they sit there and idle a lot.
Oh, yeah, that's
6,
true.
7
Yeah.
miles to the gallon.
6, 7 miles. Okay, I knew it had
Yeah.
to be. Yeah, just like my '74 Nova. Okay.
All right. Any other questions? I knew it was going to be super low. I talked to armored car people, and they're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh, you get 10 miles again?" No.
Nope.
So, all right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Next item is 10.4 for information, Hunt Club ADA sidewalk installation.
Yep, we also brought this to FFC last week, and we invited Andre, the interim director of operations, to discuss further and answer any questions if needed, and also Todd with AmeriCorps.
Yeah, good evening. My
Good
name is
evening.
Todd Roberts with Merit Corp., civil engineer, land surveyor. And I just want to give you a brief introduction to this project. About 2 years ago, when we discovered that
Can you
If
make
you
sure
could-
it's on?
there were a couple of ADA routes on the northeast corner of the building. I don't have a pointer, sorry, but in that
You do
curve.
have
that
There's
you
a
see-
pointer. There's a pointer on the side of the clicker.
Oh, right there.
Ah. Oh, yeah.
And is the mic
All right.
working?
So at that.
Mic is good?
We good?
Just hold it up. Yeah.
Can you hear me all right?
There you go.
All right, great. Let's get going here. So what we discovered during the ADA sidewalk replacement project back in 2024, that there were 2 ADA routes here that were non-compliant. And so at that time, a decision was made to remove the ADA ramps from here and here, and from there, because they were non-compliant. And over the past couple of years, we've come up with a new plan to replace that ADA route. And it'll basically extend from this point here all the way across to the playground over here. Because currently there's not a way for the students to get out through here if they have a handicap to get into the playground from this way. They're coming right now around the front of the building to get to that lot. I do have a paper copy of the plan if anybody would like to see what that looks like, but it's basically an 8-foot wide sidewalk that extends through that green space area right up against the building. There are some detectable warning strips that are included with that, where the driveway for the delivery area is right in this location here. And that's really about the extent of the project. Short and sweet. But yeah, like I said, if somebody wants to see what this actually looks like, I apologize. We did have a graphic, just didn't make its way here for you to see this evening. I know there's a couple board members here that were at the facilities meeting last week that did see it as well. But I'd be happy to answer any questions.
We
anyone
actually
has.
have it in our board docs.
Oh, you do it?
We have the site plan, yeah.
Fantastic.
We appreciate
This-
you.
Yeah, I was just, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was just, it came up, it's not having that in the back has caused some issues at the site, and this is something that be last for a long time. The ADA sidewalk that they're putting in is wide enough for, like,
2 wheelchairs
two-way,
to pass.
so it should be set for years and years to be inclined.
So I have a question.
The other ones used to be too steep.
I understand, and maybe this is more Andre. I understand that we need it. I don't question it at all. Was this picked up on the long range facility plan at all?
No, it was not.
We are,
Well, that's discouraging.
well, we're ADA compliant, but only basically through the front. So it's just to make it more.
In the meeting, we discussed the fact that going in through, having the kids come out through the front door and going to the playground is difficult, because then you have visitors crossing past with the students coming back into the building.
Okay.
So from a safety standpoint, it makes more sense to have their pathway in the back. Plus, they eat lunch in the back of the building. So then they go out to the playground. And so this is a more direct route.
But I do, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
As far as, that it didn't come out through the interview process.
And yeah, and again, I understand it's another improvement, but I thought that was part of what the plan was about. So
Well, I think, Andre, do you want to clarify? Because I think there are a number of capital improvements that they really focused on. Something like this, was this the direct focus? I mean, we are always reviewing our life safety, ADA compliance issues. So
Correct. So when McKinstry came around to do our long-range facility plan, they weren't out taking survey measurements and knowing what was within ADA code and not. They were looking more specifically at, are the curbs deteriorating? Are the curbs crumbling? Does the blacktop have potholes and things of that nature? Todd and our team, we have been working on this for maybe 6 months, at least. When it was brought to our attention, the issues that we were having at that building. So we deemed it more important to get it taken care of now instead of holding off for the long-range facility plan.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks.
Are there any other questions? I have one last question. Oh, and I forgot to ask about the transportation. I'm going to ask
You can
both.
Yeah, both.
Does the transportation or the fuel bid or this ADA sidewalk need to come to the, the March public forum, the March 9th public forum that we're having, or can it wait? till the
How
23rd?
impactful is it? Usually we don't have action, but if it's
Yeah.
going to significantly
It's not
delay
a,
the
yeah,
work.
it's not a big
So
deal
we
because it's
did
just
talk
action.
about that at the FFC, and Todd said that it would benefit us if we could take it to the March 9th, but it didn't have to be, correct?
So when we were discussing timelines, Todd, myself, and the contractor were looking to award it to, we're kind of shooting for spring break in the back of our mind, weather permitting. We've also discussed with the building admin, they would be allowed to work during the day. We have a very capable way of keeping children out of the area. But if we can take this for action next time at the 23rd meeting, that allows Todd and actually Stu to get together to review all the contracts, to get everything signed and moved forward. And then if we get a break in weather even before spring break, we could start prior to that. If we don't take action, then we're just going to be pushing it off. We might make spring break, but it'll be really, really close, or we'll just have to wait until the weather breaks and we can get it done.
So the recommendation is March 9th?
That, I would like that, yes.
That's not an issue at all. I mean, we
Yeah,
can-
it's an easy
Yeah, I mean,
couple
that's-
action items.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
They can learn how to, that's a
It's educating the public on the
education,
process.
piece. And same with the fuel.
Sure, that would be great.
Okay, we'll just start saving a little bit sooner. Okay. Yes. 2 more weeks. All right. Okay, so those will be coming for the March 23rd for action. Or March 9th.
March 9th.
March 9th for action. All right.
Thank you, Todd.
Any other questions? I think I already asked that, but okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Moving to action item 11.1. Approval of ESL proposal and recommendations. Can I have a motion, please?
I make a motion to approve the ESL proposal and recommendations as discussed and presented.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay.
Mr. Cerrone?
Aye.
Miss C?
Aye.
Dr. Martin?
Aye.
Miss Wenmouth?
Aye.
Dr. Murillo?
Aye.
Dr. Polak?
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0. Action item 11.2, approval of intergovernmental agreement for shared consultant services. Can I have a motion, please?
I make a motion to approve the intergovernmental agreement for shared consultant services with the Village of Oswego as discussed and presented.
Second.
Any further discussion? No? Okay.
Dr. Polak?
Aye.
Miss Wenmouth?
Aye.
Dr. Martin?
Aye.
Dr. Murillo?
Aye.
Miss C?
Aye.
Mr. Cerrone?
Aye, motion passes 6-0. And then we're moving to 11.3. Action item, approval of personnel report. Can I have a motion, please?
I make a motion to approve the personnel report as discussed and presented.
Second.
Any discussion? No? Okay.
Miss Wenmouth?
Aye.
Dr. Martin?
Aye.
Dr. Murillo?
Aye.
Mr. Cerrone?
Aye.
Dr. Polak?
Aye.
Miss C?
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0. What? 12.1.
We're just giddy that we might
all like,
adjourn before.
it's like,
Yeah.
it's
7:48.
Now you're having a discussion here. What are you doing? All right, 12.1. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
As if maybe we should discuss it for a while. I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Sorry. You got anything? All
All
right.
in favor?
All in favor?
All in favor?